So you've probably heard people talk about how the grass is always greener, but you probably also know at least one person who says, "Oh, if I could just get out of here, then things would be better." Or if I could get that new job or go to that new place or have that new thing, my life would be so much better. And these two kinds of opposites, I think, really demonstrate the difficulty between trying to find peace in what you have and trying new things and exploring and seeing what can make a difference for you. So today I want to offer to you three primary sources of different poets and philosophers talking about the subject of traveling to find something new. So, the first example I have is from the collected poems of Mark Strand, who is my favorite or second favorite poet of all time. He's contemporary American. And this is from his collected poems. It's called "No Man is Continent Who Visits Islands." You who desire, night after night, to cross the sea in search of islands, letting outlandish winds escort you where they will, take care. No good can ever come of constant traveling. Knowing no rest, desire will only lead you on far out beyond your means. Islands will take shape before you. Waves will break along the glassy beaches, recoil and break again. Oh, do not go there. No matter how the birds flood the empty air, the trees tend the shade, or flowers rise to meet you, do not be taken in. Set one foot on the shore, and islands will appear that seem far lovelier than those on which you are. You will be off again. Your days will turn into extensions of the night, and on the sea's slow drift toward what is always new, you will be bound forever. You who long to escape never again will know the look of a land laid out, where pleasure within bounds and restraint are commonplace. So that's a poem by Mark Strand, a contemporary U.S. poet. Next up, we have the first century A.D. philosopher and playwright, Seneca the Younger. These two passages are from his book, or from the work Letters from a Stoic, which compile Seneca's letters to his friend Lucilius. And I have two separate letters to talk about. First, in letter 28, he says, "Do you think you are the only person to have had this experience? Are you really surprised, as if it were something unprecedented, that so long a tour and such a diversity of scene have not enabled you to throw off this melancholy and this feeling of depression? A change of character, not a change of air, is what you need. Though you cross the boundless ocean, though, to use the words of our poet Virgil, quote, lands and towns are left astern, unquote. Whatever your destination, you will be followed by your failings." So that's letter 28. It's an excerpt. And then we have an excerpt from letter 104. "On the contrary, the man who spends his time choosing one resort after another in a hunt for peace and quiet will, in every place he visits, find something to prevent him from relaxing. The story is told that someone complained to Socrates that traveling abroad had never done him any good, and received the reply, quote, 'What else can you expect, seeing that you always take yourself along with you when you go abroad,' unquote." So, those two passages are from Seneca's Letters from a Stoic. And the final passage is another poem Going further back in time, we have the 1st century BC poet Horace. In his second book of odes, Ode 16, that being 2.16 for those that follow, this is an excerpt of the poem. And Horace says, "No heap of treasure, no king-like power can cure misery deep in the soul. All the fear and worry flitting high around paneled ceilings. Happiness sits in a battered salt dish on a thin spread table, lies in sleep too quiet for greed, too soft for fear. Why work so hard to earn so much when we live so little? Why run to some different sun, seeking fortune? Whoever ran from his country and escaped from himself. Worry crawls like rust, even on brass-bound boats. The fastest horses never outrun it, the swiftest steer, even the east wind pushing storms in front of him. Let your soul taste what it has. Never twist and turn for an unknown future. Cure bitterness with an easy smile. Nothing and no one is ever perfectly happy." End excerpt. So that's Horace's Ode 2.16. And you can probably detect what my message is here from the poems and letters that I've read. So I won't give you my personal analysis there, because I think you're smart enough to understand what I'm saying. But anyways, happy reading. I'm glad that you're here watching. Thank you for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you later.